Rob G is going to read it. He said a lot. Sean Payton defended Russell Wilson. But what we're going to focus on for this segment is his criticism of the previous regime and their coaching staff, and he went in a little bit on the Jets. And so we'll get into those things. And Robert Saleh, the Jets coach, responded. Rob G, give us some of the quotes from Sean Payton.
Sure. We'll start with the media stuff. He was talking about what went wrong with Denver last season because, he's the new head coach there. And he was asked specifically by Jarrett Bell, how much of this is on Russell Wilson? And Payton responded, quote, "There's so much dirt around that. There's 20 dirty hands for what was allowed, tolerated in the freaking training rooms, the meeting rooms, the offense. I don't know, Hackett. A lot of people had dirt on their hands. It wasn't just Russell. He didn't just flip. He still has it. This BS that he hit a wall, shoot, they couldn't even get a play in. They were 29th in the league in pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball." And then he added later, "Everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. They can only beat the bleep out of you so much, but everybody's got a little sting on their hands. It's not just Russell. It was a bad offensive line. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That is how bad it was."
Totally, Chris, out of bounds and tacky. It just is. You just don't have to go that route. The record speaks for itself. The reason I'm here is because things didn't work out last year. You don't have to say all that. Nathaniel Hackett, he doesn't know him. He wouldn't. If that was one of his disciples who got the head coaching job, Chris, and failed, I guarantee you he wouldn't be saying the stuff that he says. It's easy to do that. You don't know all the inner workings. You weren't there. All you know is you weren't there. I wasn't here for that. I don't know. Everything he told you is hearsay. He wasn't around.
But I'm sure he's talking to people in that building that are still there.
But that also, Chris, I'm not trying to defend Hackett from the standpoint that I thought he was bad.
You called him Nathaniel Can't Hackett.
Right, I get that. But I'm talking about for another coach to come out and trash a coach who was fired when things didn't work out, his first coaching opportunity. It just seems like it's mean-spirited and unnecessary. I'm here for a reason. Things didn't work out. They gave the previous situation. It was a first-time head coaching, situation, and a lot of things just didn't work. But the worst coaching job in the history of sports and the NFL and this and that. I mean, I just think it was over the top. That's all.
I think number one, and I'm speculating, but I think his number one intention, Rob, was to protect or, defend Russell Wilson.
You could do that without saying it was the worst coaching job ever. You can.
But I got look, say your mind. You and I get on here every day and speak our minds. He can speak his mind. Now, you're right. Mostly in the quote-unquote coaching fraternity, they don't do that.
Yeah, but we don't get on here and criticize everybody on the radio or TV who are doing what we do, and that's what
I stay away from that personally. But some people in our business do.
But you know what I mean. We both have respect. We don't need to do that, right? No, we don't need to do that to make ourselves feel better, and that's what I'm trying to say.
But look, Sean Payton is Sean Payton, and I know. You think and some others think he's overrated, and I get that. He's got one Super Bowl. He doesn't have 4. I get all that. But his reputation and image speaks for itself, so he doesn't have to beat up on Nat Hackett to make himself feel better or look better. I think, number one, he was trying to defend Russell Wilson, which he obviously did, and he put it on almost everybody but Russ. Some of the points obviously legit. We heard things about what Russ was getting away with in that organization, and he obviously poo-pooed that. But look, he's gonna have to back the words up, Rob. We all know how bad Nat Hackett was. Now I'm not saying he's not a good offensive coordinator, because he was good at that in Green Bay, and we'll see how good he is this year with the Jets. But if Payton wants to come out and say this, more power to him, but he's got to know he's going to have to back it up. And that's where the rubber hit the road. But I got no problem with him saying it. I like you said, I don't come out and unless I just have to, a guy's going at me or something, and just criticize people in our business. Most coaches or, people they consider the fraternity, right? But if he wants to go out there and live with the consequences, hey, that's his prerogative.
Well, this is just my issue, and we get it. He won a Super Bowl, and you can't take it away from him. But he did go 7-9 in 2014, 15, and 16, and that's with Drew Brees. Since that Super Bowl that he won, Chris, they're 5-7 in the playoffs. So, if you want to go around throwing stones and you're the deliverer and all that, and you're going to make everything better and take everything off of Russell Wilson, he better play well for you, because you're already telling everybody it was everybody but him. And we watched the games, Chris. He won a Super Bowl in 2009. It's 2023. And you're walking around like you have 8 Super Bowls and you won last year. That's all I'm saying is, for a guy who's getting back in, who's had some bumps along the road, it just sounded mean-spirited and unnecessary. You could defend Russell. Hey, I watched the tape. This guy can still play. He might have missed a couple things here and there, but he can clean those things up. He can make that case. It was unnecessary to take apart Nathaniel Hackett when you're in the same fraternity. That's all I'm saying. He also
talked about the Jets, and there's a lot of chirping going on. Here's his quote, and then I'll comment on it.
That's right. Once again, speaking to Jared Bell, USA Today, says, quote, "It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or an organization gets embarrassed. And that's what happened here." Talking about Denver. "Part of it was their own fault relative to spending so much damn time trying to win the offseason, the PR, the pomp and circumstances, march people around and all that stuff. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch, Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming. Remember when Dan Snyder put that dream team together? I was at the Giants in 2000. I was a young coach. I thought, man, how are we going to compete with them? Deion's there now." Talking about Deion Sanders. "That team won 8 games or whatever. So listen, just put the damn work in."
All right, so Rob, that is him, of course, going at the Jets. Now, I got to start with this. We did a segment on it, Rob. You can't blame Hard Knocks on the Jets. They didn't even want to do it. So it's not like they called Hard Knocks, "Hey, we got Aaron Rodgers, put us on your show." They didn't want to do it, so I can't blame them for that. They are glowing. In fact, Robert Saleh said that Aaron Rodgers glows in the dark. I compared him on First Things First, Rob, to the nerd that all of a sudden the best-looking girl in school wants to date him. And they don't know how to act. And that's the case. They're spouting off, they're talking because they're just so excited. They've never had a quarterback like this. Obviously, Brett Favre was great too, but Rodgers is, by my estimation, and I think most people's, better. And so they're a little out on their skis, but I don't have a problem with the Jets, what they're saying. And I think on Payton's part with this one, Rob, I think it's some gamesmanship. And I think he's trying to mess with the Jets. And, they're going to face each other, I think, week 5. But Saleh, do we have sound of Saleh's comments? I thought it was pretty funny. Rob G, we do? All right. Did you hear his comments, Rob?
No, I didn't.
Saleh?
What he
said? He said, "If you don't have any haters, then you ain't popping." So, and he said, here he is.
I'm not going to acknowledge Sean on that. He's been in the league a while. He can say whatever the hell he wants. But as far as what we have going on here, I kind of live by saying, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So hate away. Obviously, we're doing something right if you got to talk about us when we don't play you till week 4, and I'm good with it. The guys in our locker room, they've earned everything that's coming to them, and really excited about what's going on. I think Hackett's doing a phenomenal job here. The coaching staff is doing a phenomenal job, and we're focused on us. I get it. There's a lot of external noise. There's a lot of people who are hating on us. There's a lot of people looking for us to fail. There's a lot of crows pecking at our neck. But all you can do is spread your wings, keep flying high until those crows fall off and suffocate from the inability to breathe. It's a whole nother analogy I'll get into later. But really,
he lost me at the end. But overall, I get what he's saying.
Yeah. Next question. That would have been my comment. Who cares about what Sean Payton says? Who cares? I mean,
you don't run.
It's not running. I just would say, I don't. What comment? I don't have a comment. That's fine. Whatever he says is fine with me. I'm not interested in that. I'm here to win football games. I got a team to worry about. Everybody's not going to be on your side. Everybody's not going to be down with the king and all on board on what you're doing. It's fine. It's happened over and over where people didn't think it was the right situation or the right player or and then sometimes it works out. Most of the time, Chris, it doesn't. So it's a crapshoot. I just think from the Jets standpoint, and I get it, they're in the press conferences. People are looking for stuff to write. ESPN's going crazy about the Jets because there's so many people, as you know, right, that from that area. Yep. I mean, that's where the coverage is tilted. It's over the top. I get it. I'm not trying to say
it's not all the Jets' fault.
You should poo-poo Aaron Rodgers or whatever. He's one of the all-time great quarterbacks, and when he moves, it's news. So I'm not saying that, but it's just a lot of stuff every day that sounds over the top, and it sounds like you'll be set up to where it doesn't work out. That's what it sounds like, Chris, because very seldom do you make we got the dream team, this is going on, whatever, and boom, here we go, we're going to win, and everything goes along with the storybook. No, that normally doesn't happen that way.